All right, guys. So when we left off, I had made a bunch of keyboard buttons, as you can see here. These are pretty realistic looking. I was pretty happy with the way they came out. But now I think what I want to do is make a calculator with them. So the first thing I'm going to do is make some different colors so we can add some operation buttons or operator buttons. And I think we'll go with orange and blue. So the first thing I'm going to do is go and create some variations. So I'll come in here. In order to add some variations, I'm going to have to add a new dependency, which is the CLSX dependency. So I'll add that now. CLSX. Okay. Now what that's going to let me do is sort of interpolate or add in different classes based on some conditions. So let me add that in. And actually, let me clean this up a little bit so it's a little more legible, because I am going to use some of this stuff this time. Bring that down. Let me apply some formatting too. Okay. Now I did add a class name here and I didn't end up using it last time. So this time I'm going to use it. We'll need it for different variations. So what I'll do is make this into an object, make this into a different kind of string here, and finish that object. And what I can do is wrap this in the CLSX util. And down here, I can bring in class name. Just like that. We format again. Okay. So now we have our class name here. And like I said, we're going to add in some variations. So I'm going to add a type for this. So we'll have either default, which is what we have here. This is the gray one. Or we will have blue or orange. And I'll add, actually, I'm going to call it variant. And the variant will default to default. And we'll make it optional here, and we'll make it of a type variant. Okay, so if it's default, I'm not really going to do anything, but if I pass in orange, what I'm going to do is change several of these so that they do come out as orange, and we will go and test that. But first, let me add in the variation. So we'll do that with an object here. And so this will go in order of precedence. These are the default classes. Then I'll have my variants here. And finally, I'll pass this in because I can override anything that comes before it. Okay, so we'll do class, and we'll say if the variant is equal to orange, it will do this one. If it's equal to blue, it'll do this one. Okay. Let's just do a quick test to make sure that's working. I'll override this value if we have orange. Let's just do orange 400. Okay, and now I got to go use it. So we'll pull up the calculator page, and I will pass this in as a variant. Okay. Okay, so we do get an override there. Now I just have to fill out the rest of the class, so that looks good. Okay. So we have the from, we need the to. And we'll do a darker variant here like that. That looks pretty good. And we'll have to override the shadow. So I'm mostly going to override this with red. Notice that this is black now. Yeah, it gives it a nice different color there. One of these is going to be the back shadow, I think. Oh no, that's the border. Yeah, we want to keep that. Yeah, this is the back. Okay, we want to keep that. We want before this, and we'll make this orange 300. Let's make it 400 again. And we'll do before 2, orange, 800. Let's try 900, 500, 600. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. So now we'll do the same thing for the blue. I'll just make it easy on myself here. Copy it down and then change these all to blue. Okay, and then instead of overriding with red here, I'm going to go to the blue of the RGB, which is the third parameter in the RGBA CSS function call. Same with this one. We'll change these both to blue. Okay, now let's change one of these. We'll change this one to blue. Great, that looks really good actually. First try. All right, so let's get some calculator buttons on here, and let's actually make the calculator component so we can wrap this in that. It doesn't really need to be async actually. Okay, and this will actually house the calculator body itself. So this will be the calculator, and we'll bring in keys and all that good stuff. I'm actually going to change the background of this calculator to this background and set the main background to white. It'll probably make more sense once I actually do it. So let me do that first. Steal this one. If I can just copy here and set that to white. Then on the calculator, steal that background. I'll put my input in here so there's something in it when I bring it in. And that will go in, oh yeah, in the calc page. So actually I'll bring these over there. Calculator, yes. Okay, that's going to be empty for the time being. That's fine. We'll bring in all these keys, and it helps if I actually import it. Do that. It'll look better soon. Let's just get all our stuff in here. Okay. I think this is actually good for now. The other thing I'm going to add in here is an event listener for when I click, but that'll come up next. First, I'm going to get this looking like an actual calculator. So let's work on that. All right, so this will go in its own area. We'll put this in a grid. Okay. All right, so let's set this to a grid. We'll set it to columns, 4 columns. Let's give this a little bit of decoration while we're in here. So this was, let's see. I actually want this to be the same color as the parent, so I'm going to set it to transparent. I'm actually going to set it to read only as well. I don't want anybody modifying this directly. And then later we'll be giving this a value, but for now this is good. We'll set the text to pretty big actually. Let's see what that looks like if I add in some numbers. Okay, it's actually not that big. So let's try 4XL, 6XL, 5XL. Let's go 6 for now. We can change it later. I also want the text to be white. And let's give this a little padding. 4. That's good. Set the edges to rounded. I don't know why this is so crazy right here. Let's set the gap to a little shorter. Okay. Why is this so wide? I don't know. Let's go back here. Probably this. So I think we might be able to get rid of this actually. Yeah. There we go. All right. Now let's make these into some calculator buttons. So that'll take me a little bit of time, but let's see. Let's make this add. And this is not going to be blue. Set this to 7, 8, 9. That's the first group. Let's Let's just do it this way. Okay, so this is going to be, let's do subtraction here. See how that looks first. Yes. Okay. Then this will be 4 and 5 and 6. Copy the whole thing down. Multiplication. I don't think we have any more buttons after that. So we'll just, let's see, we'll make this the one, the blue one. Make that the clear button. Okay, let me see. What am I missing? Oh, division. Can't have a calculator without division. Okay, so then, and that will give us 0, give it a decimal, and our equals button. That's looking really good. I don't like this empty space here. Let me see if I can get this to span the gap, and I think I can, since I gave this, oh, it's a grid. Call span 4. There it is. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, cool. So now I think what we could do is listen for click events. When I click on these, I want to change the display. And to do that, I'm going to have to add a click event listener to keyboard key. So let's add that in here. So it's going to be onClick. Yeah, we'll just make it required, I guess. Yeah. And we can pass, I think it's mouse event. And I'll return void for the default. This is bothering me. Okay. All right. So onClick. This is bothering me also. Let's format it really quick. Yes. Okay. So now, like I said, onClick, I want to call the callback if it's there. So let's see if I can do function type of onClick. I think that should work. Okay, I did something wrong. Let's see. Oh, I need to make this a client component. All right, and since I'm using clicks here as well, or I will be, I'll make this a client component. Save myself some frustration in a little bit, but see here, the onClick is actually mandatory. Oh, okay, yeah, that's better actually. Okay, so now what I'll do is just test to see if the onClick actually fires when I attach an event listener to it. Let's just say add. So I'll test this one, nothing. There we go, we get add. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to run something with when each of these are clicked. Okay, so let's say when I click an operator, let's say handle operation click, call it add. We'll add a mapping for this. Operation is going to be a string. Whoops. Let's just define our operations now. So operations, and it will be add, yeah, add, subtract, divide, put these in alphabetical order. And we have multiply. So let's do that. Multiply. Great. Okay. Now I am going to make a type based off of this. So type operation is going to be key of type of operations. Okay. And we'll do this just to make sure we're maintaining type safety. You don't really have to do all of this. It just makes life easier. Okay. So this will make sense in a little bit. For now, I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to actually make a use state for this thing to use so that we can update our display state. So we'll make, we'll call it display and set display. Set it to nothing by default. That'll be our string. And then we can go down here and get our value for display. Great. Just make sure that this is actually updating. Yes. Great. Okay. Let's handle clear first. So handle clear click. And that will just set the display to nothing. What did I, oh, okay. And let's go wire that up to C down here. Okay, here, let's give it a value and then see what happens. That's not working. Why is that not working? See, onClick, handle clear click, set display, nothing. This is set to display. Let me give this a hard refresh. Oh, okay, that did it. Okay, so let's also handle a number click. Whoops. Okay, so then we'll just do a number as a number. Makes sense, right? And what I'm actually going to do is set the display to the number. But I'm going to use the existing display, display plus equals the operation, oh no, the number to string. Let's try that. That is a constant. Yes. Oh, okay, so let's do display like this. Okay, let's wire it up. We're going to handle a number click of 7. Okay, let's try 7. Okay. I just said, for some reason, I'm having to hard refresh that, but that's okay. All right. Let's wire the rest of these up. Okay. Let's do a little trick here. Beautiful. Okay. And we'll do the rest. And that number. And just like I did before. Oh, that's not going to work. There, we'll just do this here. And this will set to 0. Let's just go through the numbers really quick, make sure they append. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I put these in the wrong order. Hold on. I'm sure you caught that much sooner than I did. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. All right, now we will handle our operations. Oh, we need the whole onClick here. Yeah, let's add it before the variant without the Y, and this will be subtract. Let's do that. Okay, this will be multiply, and this will be divide. And I think instead of just a string here, we'll do operation. Could have used that down here. So let's see if we actually get our complete. We do. That would have been handy to do before, but at least we have it working now. And let's see, we can get operator, or let's say operator equals operations operation. And we're essentially going to do the same thing we did before, except this will be, this already is a string, so it'll be the operator. Okay, so it's hard refresh, great. Multiply, divide. That's looking a little crazy. We'll look into that after. Okay, great. So now we have our display updating. We actually have to handle the calculation now. So let me add in a listener for that. Click, handle, let's call it compute. Okay. So since this could technically error out, I'm going to wrap it in a try catch. And if it does error out, I don't want to just say nothing, so I'll set the display to error. And for this, we will set the display to, actually, let's first figure out what the calculation should be. So calculated value is eval of display. And we're going to set the display to the calculated value. Great. Okay. Hard refresh one more time. Clear. 4 plus 4 equals. Nothing happened. Okay. Let's take a look here. Oh, we didn't actually wire it up. That would help. Okay, so, oh, and we also need to add our decimal down here. Okay, so let's wire this up first. I'm just going to steal from the other guy here. Handle compute click. Get rid of this. Okay. Hey, we got a working calculator. We don't have any decimals. But let's clear this really quick. And let's actually just add decimal as an operation. It's not going to hurt anything. Let's clear that out so we're not displaying random numbers on startup. Okay, so now we have decimal in there. So I think if we add in the operation click, we can just add in decimal there. Let's try this. 12.5 plus 5, 17.5. All right, great. Now let's try something that might error. So if we just do 12 plus, hey, we get our error. That's great. I do notice that that's kind of expanding into infinity there. Let me see if I can set a max width on that. That's better. Although, could do with a little spacing here. So I'll do flex, and I'll set it to column. Then I'll give it a gap of 2. There we go. Let's do gap of 4. Let it breathe a little bit. That is pretty up there. That's fine. 2 it is. So, all right, so we have 789. Let's do some multiplication. That's looking really good. All right. So just once again, set our buttons to orange, made a calculator component, made sure it was a client component so that we can add event listeners and all that good stuff. So we set our colors, we made our variations, and we set up all our buttons so they actually display on the screen, and then it performs calculations without throwing any major errors. I think the reason that I had to keep hard refreshing is because there were errors happening as I was developing. So if that happens to you, just give it a hard refresh. If you're encountering errors in the middle of your development, it's probably cleared up by that. But that is about it for now. Thank you for watching along with me, and we'll see you next time.